Hello, I'm broadcasting legend Rick Mercer. You're listening to the Dean Blundell Show on 102.1 The Edge. Some of the material you hear on this program may not be suitable for everyone, like you, in the car with your kids in the back seat. Please do not blame DBS if your kids go to school and they start calling their friends and wallets. Listen with discretion. Thank you.
The Dean Blundell Show. Going dick head free.
In T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, D, 9, 6, D, 9, 6, D, 9.
The Dean Blundell Show.
Dean Blundell and Todd. Those are the only guys that when I listen to them, I'm just howling on the way to work or school.
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
The Dean Blundell Show. 102.1. The Edge.
Just reading more about the Oscar Pistorius case, which is even funnier than before. And folks, you know, I got some tweets over the weekend and some emails from some angry folks. In no way are we making fun of this poor woman's death. However, the fact that the guy doesn't have any legs makes it kind of humorous. And I know murder should never be humorous, but in some cases, there are aspects of humor to this. The guy's got no legs.
There's an edge there. There's an edge.
In what manner?
More like a nub. Nub? A stump.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's just because it's not your typical story.
No.
There's something.
There's a whole bunch of stuff at play here. This is a guy with no legs that runs on carbon fiber blades. Girlfriend's a supermodel, ex-girlfriend now.
And he's a national hero down there.
National hero.
Really a world hero. He was
Big
a
time.
figure, yeah.
To amputees.
Yeah.
Charge against him upgraded to premeditated murder. Apparently he was in a courtroom a few hours ago bawling his eyes out after the death of his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp, who is just was so hot.
Such a beautiful lady. Yeah.
Oh, my God. The judge said he might downgrade the charge later. He might not get bail either. The ruling came this morning. He was bawling his eyes out as he thought that she was an intruder. Here are some of the details that we do know now. Because the charge is upgraded from murder to premeditated murder, the case for bail will be harder. The defense and prosecution agree Pistorius shot and killed his girlfriend. They both agree on the Valentine's Day confrontation. However, the two sides give different accounts on how. Sobbing uncontrollably, prosecutors described how he murdered his girlfriend, saying Pistorius armed himself. This is where it gets funny. Attached his prosthetic legs and walked 7 meters before shooting Steenkamp, who had come to spend the night, through a bathroom door. Shot her right through the door. I'll read the rest and I'll tell you what I think happened. The state said killing was premeditated, but Pistorius armed himself, attached his prosthetic legs, watched 7 meters before shooting Steenkamp. 7 meters. So he put his legs on first.
Which is part of the premeditated part, I guess.
Well, if you're going to go, if he's going to confront a burglar he's not going to do it without his legs too, right?
Yeah, that's fair, because you want to be able to run away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, even just to get there, just to go confront, you can't, I mean, you're not effective with half your legs. He knows that. The guy knows that. He runs for a living. He knows he can't get anywhere without those things, whether or not he thought it was her or anybody else. Anyway, I think he knew it was her. The ruling came, I guess now, knowing that he fired 4 times. This is what the judge ruled, that he knew he fired 4 times through the bathroom door, hitting her 3 times. And she was still alive after she got shot. Yeah. And he carried her body downstairs and then called 911.
And he called a friend too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He called a guy who had set them up.
Yeah. And he told him, here's what happened. What do I do? And the guys, call the police. Call 911. Yeah.
And then the weird thing is this bloody cricket bat on the scene. What's the deal with this?
The cricket bat that was found on the scene, they think, was either used in self-defense from her perspective.
Okay.
Or, and this is where he broke the door down with the bat and dropped it in the pool of blood that was on the floor.
Yes.
That's what they say.
So the door was locked?
Yeah. Well, she was in the bathroom.
But did she not sneak in through the bathroom?
He didn't. He wasn't aware that she was in the bathroom. He just heard someone in the bathroom. We don't know those details.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
And I think
here's what I think happened. One of two things. If he did mean to do it, here's what I think happened. I think he thought, A, one of two things. If it's as legit as he says, I think this is what they're going to say happened anyway. He heard some noises in the bathroom, went to the bathroom. He should have identified himself. Hey, what's going on? Who's in there? But he apparently just shot three, 4 times, heard some noises, realized he shot his girlfriend, kicked the door down, beat the door in with a cricket bat, and then carried her downstairs and didn't know what to do. That's the number one. Number two, this is what I think. She's on this show called Tropical Island Treasure something.
It's a reality show
with
over
like
there.
5 guys, 5 girls like Big Brother. Here's what I think. I think that he caught her banging some guy with 2 legs. Or the one. In either case, it would enrage Oscar Pistorius because he had 1 to 2 things that he could never have. Real legs.
Here's with a tripod. He can never be a tripod.
So my theory is Oscar Pistorius found out that his girlfriend may or may not have cheated on him with someone with a couple of legs. He became enraged, waits till she gets there, shoots her 4 times, says, "Oh, it was a burglar."
And I agree with that. I think it was an enraged kind and they talk about even how he actually like would use steroids. Like that's one of the theories going on. And there's kind of like this fit of kind of like, steroid rage, right? And just snapped. And you're right. Maybe she was doing something or...
Yeah. Maybe he caught her fooling around with someone. And imagine if she did fool around with someone with the 1 leg. Like, come on.
Just one.
Just the one.
Like 25% better.
50.
Yeah, that's true. Well, go for arms and legs.
He's got the 1 leg.
It's just the knee. It's so attractive.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the latest. That's all we know right now. Either or, it is truly, and because they interviewed Usain Bolt at the All-Star game, the basketball weekend, and he was like, "I don't know what to think. I mean, he was a nice guy. He seemed like this is just crazy." Like he's blown away by the fact that someone, and he's from Jamaica. He'll shoot anybody. High gun rate crime in Jamaica. It's just play on the facts, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it is one of those stories you think, being a Paralympian, like you don't understand. An Olympian, maybe you do.
Maybe that's why he's mad. Just wanted para dropped from my title. No one would do it. My girlfriend referred to me as a para-Olympian.
I'm an Olympian, okay?
Yeah.
This is the Dean Blundell Show. 102.1.
This is your Edge Files with Dean Blundell on the Edge.
Dude in Michigan got pulled over by police after fellow motorist called 911 to report he was driving around and driving erratically, being distracted by a sex toy.
Oh. You needed it?
Yeah. The man, whose name was not released, had allegedly pulled out of a parking lot with a sex toy hanging out of his mouth. But by the time a responding officer came to the scene, he was done with the sex toy and placed the toy on the passenger seat next to him. When Officer Steve Smith began asking questions, the gentleman opened his mouth once again, admitted, yes, he is engaging in lewd behavior and sexual activity in public because, quote, "I have a problem with sex toys."
Early.
Yeah. He was charged and arrested with dangerous driving.
You gotta love how open he was about it.
Yeah. Listen, I gotta be honest with you. I love having this thing in my mouth. I can't go 2 exits without one. This makes me laugh so much. Pennsylvania stripper alleges her thumb was severed by an aerial apparatus while she was rehearsing for a competition at a New Jersey strip club. Oh, those New Jersey strip competitions. Sarah Berry, a 35-year-old stripper from Philly, filed a lawsuit against Delilah's Den, alleging her thumb was severed while she was practicing with a, quote, half-moon aerial splits apparatus. Yeah. I don't even know what that is, but I got a boner, I think.
Sounds pretty odd, yeah.
Looks like it's hard, and you might see some privates. The word splits is in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, severed her thumb doing it in preparation for the 9th annual Delilah's Diamond G-String competition. The club failed to ensure the apparatus was properly designed, built, and secured. She's asking for $50,000 for pain, suffering, and disfigurement after she lost the tip of her thumb in the embarrassing accident. Hey, not the first person to lose the tip of a digit in a strip joint, huh?
Just the tip, eh? Yeah.
Jesus, I've lost 3 fingers in there before. It's true. And if you're the guy who's going around flinging baby gravy at chicks at the Walmart parking lot, cops want to talk to you.
That's all he's doing?
Yeah.
But still.
He's doing the Spider-Man to women in the mall. Police recently released a surveillance photo of a man they believed, I'm just reading this, ejacked or tossed semen onto at least 2 women at a local Walmart on separate occasions. The alleged semen slinger is described as Native American, 5'3" to 5'6". That's a little fella. It's a little midget running around chucking stuff at babes.
Can't even see a little hand do it.
That's the best. 5'3" to 5'6". Frodo's chucking his man juice at people.
Look for the guy with hairy feet.
Quote, they think he's been, this is according to the police, he chooses his victims at random. We think he's been doing this since at least 2010.
Whoa.
It happened in Farmington, Michigan. A local police named Ken Raybon said these are only 2 incidents that have been reported. Apparently, from 2010 to 2013, they were able to tie at least 2 instances and have heard of several others of women complaining that someone unloads some kind of greasy substance onto their coats and their hair and at them while they're getting into their cars in the parking lot at the Walmart.
That would just ruin your day.
Yeah, you know. Bird poop.
Yeah.
You pray for bird poop.
Well, that's what you would think it would be first, too,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
So you'd examine it a little closer. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Doesn't taste like bird poop. He's 5'3". It's your Edgefiles, whatever the hell day it is, in February, the year 2013.
The Edgefiles on 102.1 The Edge.
Hey, this is Adrian Grenier, the Todd Shapiro of LA, and you're listening to the Dean Blundell Show on 102.1 The Edge.
Speaking of nipples, did you guys see the meteor in Russia this weekend? What news that was?
Insane. When you first see it, you're like, is that real?
Making space geeks' nipples erect around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It was unbelievable. So, in case you were under a rock this weekend, a giant meteor, they're saying it was about 50 meters wide, size of a half a football field. Like that's a lot. Oh, maybe that's a whole football field, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because the yards are a little.
Yeah, it was like 3 semi-trailers. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The football is huge. It was massive, big, and it was like 2 semi-trailers long, 2.5 wide. It was just nuts. Comes screaming through the Earth's atmosphere because there was this other big sucker that was even bigger, that was like huge, that just missed the Earth. It was bigger than that. Just missed the Earth. This one was like a little one. This one, it could have hit some satellites. That's how close it came to us. We almost all died. That's what people don't know.
Yeah, it came between the moon and the Earth. That's how close it was.
Yeah, it was a crazy ricochet.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
hit the moon, almost hit the Earth. It was
but
crazy.
they knew that one was coming. They knew that one was coming.
Yeah.
But this one
which predated it, and they said it was part of the same kind of thing, the same rocks that were moving through Earth, the same certain, because there were other ones that were the same size as this little one that almost killed a bunch of people. That were flying with this other asteroid because they travel in groups, I guess.
Possibly.
It's like
the video game.
It's like an Asian bus tour.
Okay. Oh,
entourage.
Okay.
The big one had an entourage of
it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those Asian bus tour things. So one of the tourists actually hit planet Earth. Yeah, and this thing was going 4.5 miles a second.
Yeah. crazy.
54,000 kilometers an hour, maybe miles an hour. I don't know. But one of those. Just
Fast.
So this is audio. It landed in Russia. Now, apparently people are gathered around the hole in the lake that it created, and they're worshiping it this morning. I'm not even joking. They say there's aliens in the water.
Great.
I know, it's bizarre. And we're going to talk to Richard Syrett from Vision Television about it later on this morning because he's a conspiracy guy. But listen to the audio. This is shortly after he goes screaming across the sky, something out of the movies. And then you hear the sonic boom, and you hear these guys freaking out in Russian. Oh, it's...
Светили, что я сижу, ничего не понял. Мне-то не видно небо там. Только вот сзади вот и там уже без...
There it is. You hear it?
Ни хрена себе, она упала, короче. Она упала.
Она вот туда полетела.
Ёпа-ма.
Это падает.
Какой кошмар, а?
Где она?
Не знаю. Она где-то в небе взрывается, походу. Вот это что творится, а?
Like, those are multiple sonic booms that you're hearing.
It
broke up.
Yeah.
That's how fast it went. Yeah, that it was just... you'll hear it here. Listen, it's just all multiple sonic booms because that's how fast this thing's going.
Сзади вот и там уже без...
Ни хрена себе, она упала, короче. Она упала.
Она вот туда полетела.
Ёпа-ма.
Это падает.
Какой кошмар, а?
Где она?
Не знаю. Она где-то в небе взрывается, походу. Вот это что творится, а?
А я думаю, что-то вы выключаете свет или что, я сижу, ничего не понял. Мне-то не видно небо там. Только вот сзади вот и там уже без...
Ни хрена себе, она упала, короче. Она упала.
Она вот туда полетела.
Ёпа-ма.
Это падает.
Какой кошмар, а?
Где она?
Не знаю. Она где-то в небе...
It's nice.
It was in Kazakhstan? I thought it was in Russia.
It's nice.
My sister is my wife.
It was so fast, though. This thing just was flying across the sky. So fun to watch, too, because it didn't happen here. But Nikki called it. She said an asteroid, a meteor, was going to hit planet Earth.
Yeah, and it did. And the first one in what, like 60 years or something?
Well,
like
they
the
say
biggest one in 60
the
years?
little guys hit like 5 to 10 times a day, but big ones.
Like that size, yeah. And no one knew it was coming.
No, well, they wouldn't tell us if it was, dude. Think they're going to induce mass hysteria if a meteor was going to... If I was the leader of the free world, or if I knew anything about that, I'd be like, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just let Arizona get destroyed.
Count our losses.
Don't say anything. It's just going to freak California out. And that was the last one. The one in Arizona, there's a meteor hole in Arizona. They thought it was a volcano for hundreds of years, and it was a meteor hit. And this thing's massive.
Yeah. That might have killed the dinosaurs, that one.
Yeah. Is that what they said? The Arizona one might have killed the dinosaurs?
Like 60,000 years ago, so maybe not.
No one knows. No one was around 60,000.
Yeah, they never know.
I love how people do that.
Science.
I believe this hole's 1 billion years old.
Yes.
Well, really? Where's the records? Because we only been here a couple hundred.
Look at the sediment.
This is the Dean Blundell Show on 102.1 The Edge.
Talking earlier about this meteor that went slamming across the sky, or whatever meteoroid. We can report on the events, but we know very little, if not anything, about meteors. But Jeff joins us on the phone. He's an astrophysicist. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
How about yourself, Diener?
Good, dude. Thanks for you sent me an email this morning. Now you send me visuals of the Mars rover, and you send me different information about outer space that you find interesting. And at some point, you're like, stop talking about your dink and start talking about the incredible things that go on in the atmosphere. So this is why you're here today. Thank you.
Not a problem, man.
So explain to us what happened in Russia with this. What exactly was that? What happened, and where are we at now?
Okay, so the first things first you have to realize is these objects collide with the Earth, and I believe it was Eric or Todd, I couldn't tell who, said a couple of these hit the Earth a year. Now, it's on average between 5 to 10 a day that hit the Earth, the same size that hit Russia, and most of them, because I'd say about 90% of them burn up in our atmosphere. The other 8%, I'd say, will hit somewhere over the ocean, so we really don't know anything about them. Those 2% would hit Earth, but they're so small at that time because those sonic booms that you hear is it colliding with the atmosphere, colliding with the air, essentially, hitting that sonic boom. It explodes and vaporizes mostly.
So oxygen, is it the oxygen that makes it explode, essentially?
It's the actual pressure, the air pressure.
Okay.
It's going deep underwater, correct?
Essentially, yeah.
Huh.
50% of the air that we're breathing right now is within the 1/3 of the air pressure on Earth. So it's as close to the Earth as it's going to get. It can hit and collide with the Earth and keep going for a little bit. It's until it hits that pocket where we are that things start to go bad, essentially.
So now, tell us why this thing did so much damage and why it actually, because you said, normally when these things 5 to 10 times a day the same size, but they burn up in the atmosphere. How did it get that close to Earth, and why was it so different than all the other ones?
Well, short of throwing in a whole bunch of science mumbo-jumbo to you guys, the entry angle would be the most common. If something enters at a shallow angle to the atmosphere, it's most of the time going to bounce off and ricochet and go flying off into the sun or something else. If it hits too steep, it explodes right as soon as it hits the top layers of the atmosphere. And that's usually shooting stars. When people see shooting stars, that's usually what you see. And it's just one of the perfect things that happened. It entered at a perfect angle. It entered at a perfect speed. And yeah, you can talk about the composition and things like that. It was mostly made of iron, if I read the reports correctly. I'm obviously not in Russia, but I believe it was mostly made of iron. And iron has a pretty high melting rate and pretty high various other things like that.
How fast was this thing going?
I believe they said it was traveling at about 50 meters per second, which is pretty fast.
Wow.
The Earth spins at 29,855 kilometers per second. So Earth is spinning pretty fast as well.
Yeah, it said 33,000 miles per hour is what.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fast. That's you almost don't even understand how fast that is. It's that fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's pretty fast, but believe it or not, it's actually pretty slow when you compare other astrological objects.
Okay, so explain to me the one that just missed the Earth, this NRB 17 or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the 2013 one.
Yeah.
That guy, it traveled, again, I don't have the specifics in front of me, but I believe it was pretty close. It's called the astronomically close, but that's not technically close as per like someone like Christopher Hadfield, Commander Hadfield on the International Space Station. He couldn't see it out the window.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't big enough, but it also was traveling too fast. People on Earth could see it for roughly half an hour at the most. Mm-hmm. And then again, there's optimal viewing angle, darkness, various other.
Yeah, it had to be like in Australia and stuff. Those are the only people to see it because that's where it kind of went over. Yeah.
Yeah. If that had collided with Earth, it would have caused some damage, some pretty serious damage, but it wouldn't have been a mass extinction event. It wouldn't have killed us all off.
Yeah, I read that too on the weekend. But tell us what kind of damage that thing. It was like 850 square miles would have been eviscerated wherever it hit.
Yeah, it would have been the most powerful explosion to hit the Earth, aside from the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. But it would have taken out probably something the size of most of the Greater Toronto Area, if not more than that. It probably would have extended up until Barrie, and they would have been completely uninhabitable. But the funny thing is, the crater that it would have made
would have looked similar to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Although if anyone can survive it, I think it might be people from Barrie.
That's true. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying, Jeff?
Well, it wouldn't have been as deep. It wouldn't be like a crazy big, pit. It would have been probably at the very most a kilometer deep when it hit, like the actual crater that it would have formed. So we could technically have rebuilt after probably about a year or so after everything all settled down.
Wow, that's just it blows your mind because there's so much out there that we don't even know about, and this kind of stuff brings it to light. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, well, as a super smart guy, what do you say to those who are conspiracy theorists? Some say it was missile testing and all this and all that. Do you kind of just chalk that up as people being silly and not trying to understand it?
I do. Same with the. I don't want to get into a huge debate here, but same people saying religion. It's one of those. What do you call it?
Wormwood.
sign from God and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know what I read this morning too in a science thing is that those religious people can lick it.
Pretty much.
Jeff, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the big thing was NASA and the Canadian Space Agency just got $5 million grant to launch a telescope to monitor these type of asteroids, rocks, things that would collide with Earth but wouldn't cause any type of damage.
Yeah.
But that's really only going to cover less than 1% of what's actually at danger to.
Wow.
That's crazy. Is there now before we let you go? Jeff joins us. He's an astrophysicist. Before we let you go, is there anything brewing? Like, do people know about the things that are? Is there something bigger, something closer? Is this or do we
2029?
Expect, yeah, are we dead?
Like, do we need to call Bruce Willis in the team?
Yeah.
No, Apophis is the one that's supposed to hit in that I believe 2034. That's actually no longer a danger to us. The big thing to look for is at the end of this year is comet ISON 2012, ISON 2012. That is going to come so close to us that it's going to be visible to the naked eye from about December to early February of this year to the northern hemisphere, so that would be us. And it's going to be brighter than a full moon in the sky.
No way!
Like hail bop.
Is that's a comet?
Yeah, it's a comet coming by, and it'll circle around every 120 years or so. And it's going to be visible. It just so happens that the traveling direction, orbit of the Earth, various other things like that, it's going to be very slow moving across our night sky. Visible during the day as well.
Wow. Cool. And it'll be for a couple of months, too.
Yep.
Wow, awesome.
It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. All you need to do is look up.
Dude.
Good time to join a cult.
Sort of like what my university girlfriend said to me. Just look up, man. Come on, I'm right here. Thanks for your time, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Diener, can I give my website?
Yeah, for sure.
EverydayScienceStuff.com.
Cool.
EverydayScienceStuff.com.
Yeah.
Okay, pal. We appreciate it. We'll call on you again just in case we all get eviscerated.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon, Diener.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, good guy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. I like learning about that kind of stuff because it's something you don't talk about, but it's still kind of crazy and creepy and weird, and it makes everybody freak out. How many super anxious, nervous doomsdayers just lost their mind seeing that on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that's part of it that I love is that now, in this day and age with everyone just having a camera phone and stuff, you get to see this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From different angles, too. It's like from all over the place.
15 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine all the loony if there's a comet going by our Earth?
All the people trying to catch a ride?
Yeah. I think the UFO is right behind it.
The Course Broadcasting System presents
The Dean Blundell Show.
Going to be a super duper program for you.
102.1. The Edge.
All-Star game, basketball All-Star game was on this weekend. Front and center, and Twitter blew up with pictures of Drizzy, Drake, in his gay pants and his stupid clothes, drinking what appeared to be alcohol, Todd. I'm not going to lie to you.
That part of it might be okay, though.
Yeah. Anyway, so Drake was at the All-Star game. Now, he also performed with Lil Wayne. Now, I'm going to tie this. There's a lot of Toronto stuff this weekend at the All-Star game. Terrence Ross won the slam dunk contest,
which was so cool.
Very cool. Drizabled was front and center. They showed him more than they showed probably LeBron.
Him running around like an idiot,
like he had just won the slam dunk contest.
Yeah.
Like he did something. He didn't do anything. And then Chris Bosh, who plays for the Miami Heat. Lil Wayne, the rapper, the real rapper, unfortunately he likes Drake because he's standing on stage while he's saying this. So Lil Wayne goes on this tirade because he's banned by the Miami Heat because he allegedly made a gun signal to somebody during a game.
Okay.
So the Miami Heat banned him from games, and then they wanted him. They wanted the NBA to ban him from all the festivities of the All-Star game. Lil Wayne, which by the way is missing a couple of T's and an E on his name. Lil Wayne, it banned from all this. So he goes on this tirade, but then he also says that he had sex with Chris Bosh's wife.
Oh.
Now, if you dislike Chris Bosh as much as we all like Chris Bosh, this is good news. because Lil Wayne's about 5'4", and he brought the ruckus to Chris Bosh's wife, who apparently now he and his wife on the outs a little bit.
You would think.
Because of this. Because his wife allegedly had sex with Lil Wayne.
With Lil Wayne.
Little tiny Wayne.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the audio I'm playing for you right now.
Me from all NBA events.
I know it sounds like Drizzy. Drizzy's right next to him, by the way.
Hold up. I gotta let you know why, though. Because y'all be on these, y'all love these niggas, so I gotta let you know why. It's because the Miami Heat told them to ban me. But I said, f it, I'm still gonna come out here and party with my pop, party with Drizzy, party with y'all for the last day. And plus y'all got a cool ass skate park out here that I'm gonna go skate at tomorrow, so but let's finish having a good time. When I say f you say NBA, when I say f you say Miami Heat, let's go.
F. D. Wade, F. Chris Bosh, and then this is where it gets funny. This is good. I like this.
And I'm Chris Bosh's wife.
And I effed Chris Bosh's wife. That's from Lil Wayne. Yes. Listen.
And I'm Chris Bosh's wife.
And so Drizzy the whole time is facing the other way because he obviously is such a huge pussy. He doesn't want to upset anybody.
Oh, for sure. And he's definitely, there's a connection with him and Chris Bosh. So just because I know from the day.
Because he tried to have sex with Chris Bosh.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm Chris Bosh's wife.
That's the ultimate insult too, right? Even if he didn't do it, it's insulting. But I have a feeling Lil Wayne did F Chris Bosh's wife.
Although, would you want to?
No.
No, okay.
Oh, that is one of the greatest ever.
And I'm Chris Bosh's wife.
Bosh is like the Drake of the NBA.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's the Drake of the NBA.
He's just like a fraud.
I know.
Yeah.
Total loser. I mean, it's 18 points a game, still pretty good.
Yeah,
but at least Lil Wayne did his wife. Hey, we win again. Leafs are 10-6. Jays look nothing but awesome.
Yeah. Stories coming out of spring training are so exciting.
Yeah. The Toronto Walk won something.
Yeah, they
Argonauts won the Grey Cup.
That's true.
And the Raptors are looking up too. And on top of it, this is the best news.
Lil Wayne
did us all a favor. Did you a favor, did me a favor. On top of it, listen to what Lil Wayne did.
And I'm Chris Bosh's wife.
The best is the reaction too.
The biggest cheer he gets, eh? Not screw the NBA, screw the Miami Heat. Oh yeah, by the way, I had sex with Chris Bosh's wife. Yeah. Time for traffic. Hey, Ed, did you know that?
I did not know that.
And I'm Chris Bosh's wife.
News to me.
You know, it might have been news to Chris, too. Imagine him getting home after the All-Star break.
He deserves it.
So, baby, tell me. I ran into Lil Wayne. Says you and him, you know. It's true.
Like Lil Wayne, I think is like maybe 5'4".
If that.
Yeah.
He's very short.
Chris Bosh's thing might be the size of him. Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe he got right in there. It's like a one-man pup tent.
And he paved the way.
Attention, citizens of Florida. Attention, citizens of Louisiana.
The Dean Blundell Show.
It's going to be category 5 or greater.
102.1.
I'm dizzy.
Joining us on the telephone from the Conspiracy Show on the Vision Television Network. Am I right? Am I right so far?
You're batting 1,000, Mike.
Okay, good. Richard Syrett, everybody. Hello, Mr. Syrett.
Hey, guys. How are you? Hey, Dean.
Good. What's the name of the website again?
TheConspiracyshow.com.
TheConspiracyshow.com.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, and we've had Richard on a few times. Now, Rich, may I call you Rich?
Please.
Okay, thanks, bud. Wanted to talk a little bit. There's a huge kerfuffle last week. The first pope in 600 years to retire, in large part not due to death.
It is kind of strange, age and declining strength as his reasons. But if you look at his predecessor, Pope John Paul II, I mean, this guy...
He was a veggie for the last 10 years.
Exactly. He hung right to the bitter end as we watched his body sort of ravaged by Parkinson's. So
that's hilarious.
A lot of...
He was so cute. He just turned into a little veggie. He's like, I'm still the Pope. You can't even brush your teeth. How can you still be the Pope, man? Come on. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, a lot of people aren't buying this reason for the resignation, and some are suggesting... You remember last year there was this VatiLeaks scandal, and the Pope's butler, Paolo Gabriel, basically stole some sensitive documents, and they were released. And so Gabriel was sentenced to something like 18 months in prison, but he was given a pardon. And there was a lot of sensitive documents in there, and people inside the Vatican were saying that Cardinal Ratzinger, otherwise known as Benedict,
he was on Cheers, right? Wasn't he on Cheers?
No fact, Nami.
That was Coach. Yes, that was Coach.
Ratzinger, John Ratzinger. He was on Cheers, right? He plays the Mr. Potato Head in all the Toy Story movies.
The mailman. There you go. The post office.
Yeah.
The thing that he totally lost control of the Vatican. However, there is another theory, Dean, and this is where I think we get into the interesting stuff, and that is
pedophilia.
Well, no.
Okay.
No, it's we'll leave that for another show.
Okay.
I think you'll find this very interesting. By resigning, he clears the way for the fulfillment of the papal prophecies. Now, if we go back to the 1200s, there was an archbishop in Ireland by the name of Malachi, who's now known as Saint Malachi, and he released a series of about 112 short cryptic phrases in Latin, which appear to predict the Roman Catholic popes, starting with, I believe it was Celestine II in the 1200s. So let me give you an example. What he would do is he would predict who these popes would be right up until the very last pope. And we're getting close to the last pope. So just stay with me here for a moment.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of how accurate this guy was. There was Pope Paul VI, who served from 1963 to about 1978. And his motto, he was identified as Malachi, who lived again about 800 years earlier. He was identified as flower of the flowers. That was the motto he gave to this guy. He didn't know his name. But Pope Paul VI, his coat of arms featured 3 fleur-de-lis. So there seems to be some, accuracy there. So then we moved to the next pope, which was John Paul I, who some believe was murdered. He lasted for about a month. His motto, he was given the motto by Saint
We're here for a good time, not a long time?
he was given the motto of the half moon.
Oh.
Well, John Paul I was born during a half moon, and he died during the phase of the half moon.
Oh, so another connection.
Okay, John Paul II was known as the labor of the sun. He was born in 1920 during an eclipse of the sun. He died in 2005 during an eclipse of the sun. Now we get to the present pope, Pope Benedict XVI. And he was predicted by Malachi to be the penultimate pope, the second to last pope. So when he resigns, in comes the last pope. Malachi identified him as Petros Romanos, Peter the Roman. And what Malachi wrote is, in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations. And when the things are finished, the city of 7 hills, Rome, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. Some predict that Peter the Roman will be the Antichrist. So by resigning, Benedict XVI is setting the stage, stepping down, and we're all preparing and hunkering down for the rise of the Antichrist to sit on the throne of Peter and usher in the apocalypse.
He could be a Canadian.
From Quebec.
So what happens now? What happens if you're right? What you said, the sign of the apocalypse. So this next pope, and I have heard that by prophecy, this next pope is allegedly going to be the final pope. But you're saying that take it a step further. This guy's supposed to be the baddest of the bad guys.
He's the Antichrist who will, according to Revelations, negotiate a false peace with Israel. He will go down to Jerusalem and declare himself to be the second coming. He will sit, then what happens is a whole series of things come into being, like the reconstruction of the Temple of Jerusalem, the third construction, which is prophesied to be a sign of the end times. Then the Pope, the false Pope, would sit in the temple and declare himself to be the second coming of Christ, and then we would have basically all hell breaking loose.
What an egomaniac. Yeah. What kind of loser says I'm the second coming of Jesus? What kind of moron does it? And to Derek's question earlier, could he be this Olette guy who's Canadian?
Well, no, because that wouldn't fit. What we're looking for is someone named Peter.
But they rename them, though, once they become Pope, don't they?
Well, yes. Here's where it gets. That's right, Todd. Here's the problem, though, that there is sort of this long-standing tradition, because the very first pope, of course, was the Apostle Peter, Saint Peter, and since then, no one has called themselves Peter II. However, there are a number of cardinals, living cardinals, who do have the name Peter. There's Peter Turkson, who's from Ghana. Now, Africa is one of the last strongholds of Roman Catholicism. Of course, it's on the wane in North America, but in places like Central America and Africa, it's bigger than ever. So the thinking is that maybe the cardinals will elect someone from Africa, to revitalize the church. So this Peter Turkson of Ghana, but he's not Petros Romanos. He's not from Rome. There are a couple of other Pierres. There's Nazala Pierre.
We're stretching now. Yeah.
Hello, Pierre.
That guy's got a Peter.
So we'll have to keep a watch on that one and see, in March who the next pope is, and if there's any sort of connection to the name Peter, then hunker down.
And if not, then we can expect this guy to be gone soon too, and then the Peter guy coming in, I guess, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's not what Malachi predicted. He said that the present pope would be the penultimate pope. This is the second to last pope. The next one's the last one.
Oh, okay. Well, we look forward to seeing what happens. All I know is we'll probably hear lots of stories that have to do with kids. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Richard Syrett. The conspiracyshow.com on television, or on the web, and on Vision Television. When's the show air, sir?
It's just in constant repeats. We're busy working on season 3, which will debut sometime this fall.
Good, dude. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Richard.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
Take care. That's fascinating stuff. So we're it's the end of the world soon.
Another Mayans sort of thing, Another. Is this one going to happen? Should we take a bets on this one?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
The Catholic Mayans.
Yeah.
It's just everybody seems to know when the end of the world is, and no one's actually. Yeah. Well, dude, we just went through the whole thing, and we're all still here.
Now another one, exactly.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Sounds like the UN won't be very happy with this guy either.
Nope.
No.
Oh, that guy's the Antichrist.
Oh, man.
God damn it. He looks so peaceful.
He's got the big hat.
The Dean Blundell Show. 102.1. The Edge.
Welcome to the Dean Blundell Show. Today, we'll be opening up the phone lines to find out a little bit more about you. What's wrong with you? Why are you so different from normal people? What happened in your life to make you so odd? Please join us, won't you?
Time for What's Wrong with You. The most effed up person wins a lot of stuff today, too.
Yeah, we have the $100 Best Buy mobile gift card, Colorado, Blue Mountain lift tickets, and the 2013 Canadian International Auto Show continues throughout the week, and you'll get a 4-pack for that.
When's the Colorado show?
That's February 26th.
Where is it?
That I don't know.
Okay. 416-870-EDGE, 870-3343. Give us a call. We're going to do a little What's Wrong with You at the Edge.
Is it still available?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Okay, my name is Martin.
Hey, Martin.
How are you?
Good. What's wrong with you?
Well, I have herpes.
Oh, boy. Always a good one. Always strong if you lead with the herpes. How did it happen?
Listen, okay, so I was at a party one day. I was mangled off my mind, and I had a cold sore on my lip. So I went into the washroom with the girl. I went on her. I started eating.
So you went into the washroom with a girl. You do your business to her, and then you start having intercourse. Is that correct?
Right, and then I started having intercourse.
Oh, you gave yourself herpes indirectly.
Yeah.
It's like you
I
set
did
the
it
herpes on the
to
night
myself.
table, and then you gave it back to yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we forget to mention that you gave it to the woman too, which is very rude of you? Yeah.
Oh, then there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that's now it's a really good one.
Yeah.
Hi, The Edge.
Hi.
Hey.
Name's Tristan.
Tristan, what's wrong with you?
So my father stopped talking to me. My mother's an alcoholic. My job stopped last month. My brother's getting married in May, and my mother's not invited. And my younger brother has to support himself in school, and I have to find some way to help him.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So why did your dad stop talking to you?
Actually, funny story. I just found out. So he's a bit of a prick. And
Sounds like it.
Yeah, no kidding. So he stopped talking to my older brother because he sided with my alcoholic mother and not letting my younger brother move to his house. Although both my older brother and I stupidly did.
Okay. So how old are you?
I'm 22.
And how much does your mom drink?
She just got out of the hospital for the second time for, what was it? Not her appendix, her appendicitis.
Yeah.
So she drinks pretty much every day.
Yeah, how much?
She got a bottle of wine.
Bottle of wine every day?
Every day.
She's not an alcoholic.
No.
dude.
Yeah. She's well, unless she's like 70 pounds.
Yeah. Unless she's 70 pounds and it's like 2-3 liter bottles of water, bottles of wine.
Oh no, she used to, but no, she's lying to all of her kids. So.
Okay. Hang on. Sounds like you're intolerant. Hi, The Edge.
Yeah, is this what's wrong with you?
Yep.
I'm basically a walking calamity, man.
Okay.
I've got fake hip, my femur through my pelvis and out the other side 5 years ago. Right wrist is put together with a crap load of hardware. Same with the left one. Stomach's falling apart, and I'm only 33 years old.
What happened?
Building houses, and I was the foreman, and I had a ramp give out, and I only had 1 foot on it. I thought I had time to go back in, and spun around and came down from like 8 feet on a concrete floor with my left leg locked and shorted myself.
God dang it. Are you shorter now than you used to be?
No, they put me back together and the leg's the same height, but I'm like barely as flexible as I used to be. I'm built with hardware. I can barely move. I hurt. My left foot goes numb to the point I can't even feel it when I sit down.
Oh, he must suck then.
Yeah. He can't poop for as long as he'd like. All right, hang on. That's crazy. Good ones today.
Yeah.
And the guy kicked it all off with a great herpes call. Hey, The Edge.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's your name?
Justin.
What's wrong with you?
Basically, I lost the whole front of my leg, and I got shrapnel through the testicle overseas.
You a soldier?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a winner on the Dean Blundell Show. Yay! Yeah, that beats herpes any day.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So much. So basically, I was in the tank, and the tank had flipped over. Like we hit a mine, and it flipped over. IU, and next thing you know, I lose the whole front of my leg, part of my shin bone, and all my muscles. So I had to have it all replaced. But,
what is it? What did it get replaced with?
Well, I have metal going up my basically attached to my bone. And they just took off the top part of my leg to be able to kind of touch up my front leg, basically.
So can you walk normally, or do you limp?
I have a serious limp, but I'm also, like, I have a lot of other problems just due to the fact of trying to make up for the one leg. Like,
Yeah.
Overcompensating. Yeah.
What about the testicles? So you guys, you're in a tank. Take us through the story. So you're in a tank because you just went right to the flipped over tank, but you're driving in a tank, and where were you?
I was in Afghanistan.
Yeah, but so you're driving in a tank, and then what happened? You just felt boom.
Yeah, pretty much just a big boom, and then part of the tank had blown off, and along with my leg and a couple of my buddies, I can't tell a whole lot of it, but I can't get into much detail in the story, but that's pretty much as much as I can tell you.
All right, and how's your nut?
Well, I completely lost pretty much ability with the one, but I'm still good with the others.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. One-nutted soldier is still better than a two-nutted normal human being. Congratulations, dude. Todd will tell you what you've won.
Yeah, man. We'll give you a $100 Best Buy mobile gift card, Colorado tickets for February 26th. It's at the Rivoli, and Blue Mountain Lift tickets. Also, the 2013 Canadian International Auto Show. 4 tickets for that.
Wow, thank you very much.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
And thank you.
And
Yeah.
Lynn, let me ask you something. Do chicks dig those scars?
Yeah, it's a good bar story, I guess.
You ever get people just to kick your shin for fun? They're like, ow! Ting!
yeah, slap it with a stick or something.
Well, thanks, dude. We appreciate you serving, so we don't have to.
Right.
So hang in there. We'll get you your phone number and information so we can get your stuff.
All right, thank you very much.
Hi, this is Christopher Lloyd, and you're listening to the Dean Blundell Show on 102.1 The Edge.
This is your Edge. Hold it. Files with Dean Blundell on the Edge.
Time for your Edgefiles. Sad ones today. Sex offender named Kevin Boss, of unknown age. They said he's 18. Unknown age. Was identified as the guy that gained access to a shared crawl space in the community home he was living in. He was just renting a room. Drilled a couple of holes in his neighbor's ceiling, then proceeded to pleasure himself as the woman slept, trying to get some of his stuff through the hole.
Oh, man.
Wow. That's a game.
Come on.
That's a game.
No, it's not darts.
Yeah. Weird. The creepy shenanigans, though, ended quickly after the victim's cats alerted her to the goings-on in the crawl space. The cats all went into the kitchen. They were looking up at the ceiling. When I looked up, I saw an eye as well as some fleshy thing through another hole in the ceiling.
Oh, no. Got the sprinkler.
That guy had been pumping drywall for about a month, I guess. Police said they went up there and took pictures of the scene of the crime, and there was DNA, quote, everywhere. I guess so. You're 18, your neighbor's 25. You're going to catch a glimpse.
Those damn cats.
2 senior citizens in Sonora, California got their groove on at a barbecue restaurant. Linda Titus, a 72-year-old, and Gary Wells, a 62-year-old. It's a cougar.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Were caught on camera having sex in the parking lot of the Dig In local barbecue restaurant.
What a name.
The two allegedly showed up in separate cars at Doc's Texas Barbecue and Dig In Burgers.
Dig In.
Ordered chicken and started to pork in front of other customers. The restaurant owner, Rachel Shevlin, went over and said, "Hey, you guys got to stop. I mean, in the middle of the day, come on.
People want to eat here."
Yeah. Looks like you smashing a couple barbecue sandwiches together. Authorities called to the scene, said they were unclothed and sexually engaged in the backseat of the car in broad daylight. They were given tickets for indecent exposure. They laughed, got their burgers, and left. Now, that's a cool couple.
Yeah, you got to give him credit, I guess. Dig in.
And for the love of God, don't laugh at Ronald Eugene Murray if he eats a sandwich. He killed a man for it. 26-year-old punched and kicked Mun Jang so severely he died 2 days later in the hospital. The attack happened after Murray purchased a pastrami sandwich at a place called the Donut King.
Well, there's your first problem.
Yeah. When he took a bite, some of the meat fell out, and Zhang went, "Ha ha 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 ha! The meat fall out of your sandwich." Well, that pissed the dude off. He goes, "Who you laughing at?" And that's when the guy goes, "Ah, your meat fall out of your sandwich." That's crazy. His rage increased when the clerk behind the glass also started to laugh and refused his request for another sandwich at half price. That's when his anger really got focused on the guy laughing at him. Jang apparently was hysterically laughing at the victim, and then the whole restaurant started to laugh. That's when he sucker punched Jang and hit him repeatedly, then threw the sandwich so hard at his head, the mayonnaise and the lettuce stuck in his ear. He faces 11 years in prison for manslaughter. He fell to the floor and saw Zhang standing over him with clenched fists, apparently, after slipping on the pastrami.
That is anger.
It's funny because the meat fall out. Those are your Edgefiles, whatever the hell day it is in February, the year 2013.
The Edgefiles on 102.1 The Edge.
It is now a proven fact. Facebook is a scourge on society. Facebook destroys relationships. Facebook makes people do terrible things to one another. Terrible, terrible things.
The Dean Blundell Show is on Facebook. See what the guys are up to. Leave a comment. Listen to the podcast. Make new friends.
Dispose of the old ones.
Check us out on Facebook today. And please like us.
All right, whatever.
The Dean Blundell Show. 102.1 The Edge.
Time for your phone calls. Hey, The Edge.
Hey, how you doing? Calling for the open phones.
Yeah, man. What's your name?
John.
What's up, John?
Not much. I was wondering, you guys support USS a lot, right? I went to a couple of their concerts, and they had a flute player playing there, female. She's smoking hot. I was wondering if you guys knew who she is.
No.
No idea.
Those I love those guys, but they are so weird.
She can play the flute, though, can't she?
Yeah. Was it like a real flute? Or?
Oh, yeah, real flute.
Might have been a roadie.
No, she was out on stage. She was at the Everything About Fred show at Sound Academy.
Oh, was she? No, I don't know. I haven't seen her. No idea. No, I think if you Google it, you'd be able to find her. But hey, The Edge.
Yeah, hello. Is this 102.1 The Edge, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, this is Oscar Pistorius. I'm calling to the Dean Blundell. Clear my name.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Pistorius. How are you? Big news.
Yeah, good morning. I wanted to tell my story. I'm calling in. It's very late here, and I thought I would take this opportunity to call the show. I want to clear my name.
Okay, what happened?
Well, look, what happened was I woke up in the middle of the night, yeah?
Yeah.
And so my girlfriend, she was not beside me. I thought she was there, but she was not there. So what I did was I rolled over and I put on my legs, my prosthetic legs.
Yep.
I loaded my pistol, and it was at that point that I heard a rummaging in the bathroom, yeah?
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, it must be my girlfriend. So I called her name. She did not respond. Logically, I thought that it would actually be a dealer of conflict diamonds that had broken into my window. So what I did was I loaded my pistol and I fired 4 shots through the door, thinking logically I would hit this dealer of conflict diamonds. Unfortunately, it was my girlfriend, yeah?
Yeah.
It was a clear mistake of mistaken identity, yeah? And I thought I wanted to talk to Dean to clear my name, yeah?
Well, good work. So you're good then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is an unbelievable. Like, the story just gets weirder.
He's such a huge celebrity, really.
I didn't know how big he was, but apparently in South Africa, he's like the Michael Jordan of South African sports, and because of his infirmity, he just, is that much more of a hero. All the Paralympians hated him, by the way.
Is that the case? He thought he's bigger than them, did he?
Oh, yeah. He treated everybody like crap.
Was that just because he had the legs?
Listen, because it's because you know why? It's because he beat everybody because he had this unfair advantage.
Will he be able to keep the legs in jail, I wonder?
I think his ass better hope so.
Just to put him there to block it?
No, no, just to get away. You can't catch me. We can if you take your legs off. This is apparently what happened. He apparently woke up. This is the story he said. He is maintaining he thought it was an intruder. A couple issues, though. She apparently had an extracurricular activity with some dude on this TV show she was on. This is just kind of it's hearsay. None of it is accurate. So she came home. He found out. He made it look like, oh, yeah, I thought it was an intruder. But her stuff wasn't in the bedroom. It was at the front door. And then she apparently went to the bathroom. He freaked out. Shot at the. It's like he was in Michigan or the United States or something. Shot at the noise instead of identifying who it was, and killed her. Then busted the door open with a cricket bat, and then realized it was her. This is what he said. This is his. He realized it was her. Carried her downstairs. But the thing about it is they had previous incidents.
Yeah, the police had been to his home before
with those two.
Yeah. And apparently had a terrible temper, this guy. Now you're hearing a lot about it. He even had like a Twitter post talking about how he was kind of a nut, too, with the gun and stuff. He had a loaded gun once. He had it like about a month ago. He did a post on Twitter. So, yeah.
Well, and if that's the case, you can understand both then. You can understand how he would get all enraged and shoot his girlfriend if indeed she was screwing around on him. You also understand how crazy some bastard has to be to just start shooting at noises in the bathroom.
Yeah, who does that alone? Exactly.
Well,
you don't just start
if
shooting
he's
at
that much
door.
of a nut. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they said they found a stash of steroids, too, at his place. So people are thinking, could this be roid rage? All this sort of stuff. Either way.
Whatever it is, it's pretty funny.
Because he had to put on his legs.
Yeah.
As someone,
I hear noises in the bathroom. And he puts his legs on, saunters over, bang, 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 bang.
As someone emailed us earlier, they just said he just couldn't walk away from the relationship.
No, it's so hard. Couldn't walk away from anything ever. Hi, The Edge.
Hi, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
What's up?
I'm just kidding. What's going on?
What's happening?
Not much. Just working. Hey, do you guys remember that game you used to play as a kid? What time is it, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah.
I bet you whenever Rob Ford played, it was always lunchtime.
Yeah, it's so clever. Hi, The Edge.
Hi, I kind of have a question for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
I've been dating this guy for quite a long time now, and when we go to have sex, it only lasts like 10 seconds. That's not normal, right?
How long is a long time have you been dating him?
4.5 years.
It's always been the case?
Yeah.
You're an awesome woman.
It's like sometimes we don't even last till like foreplay.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he needs help.
So there is a problem, right?
Yeah. Or you're just
normal.
really hot. You should either A, take it as a compliment, but you probably don't get off on it, do you?
No, not at all.
At all, never. Have you ever had the big O with him?
No.
For 4 years?
You must love the guy.
I do, but I'm a very, I like to have sex, and it sucks because I can't really have that with him. I don't really count 10 seconds as sex, but...
Is it literally only 10 seconds?
Maybe sometimes it's like 2 minutes, and that's a long time.
That's like, so say you're doing it even once a day for a week. That's 14 minutes of pleasure only.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, two things you can do. A, you can go and get rid of the guy and hook up with another guy. Because that's a big part of your life that's missing when you're not doing it all the time and you're not effective at it and having a good time at it and expelling your frustration, if you will. It's something men and women have to do.
It just feels so good.
Yeah. Well, it's needed.
Sure.
It's part of health.
It relaxes you. It de-stresses you.
Big time.
Releases endorphins. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to clean the sheets and
makes
stuff.
A baby.
Yeah, it makes a baby.
But my advice to her, and it's to everybody, if you're all going to call in with the same thing, if it's only lasting 10 to 15 seconds, A, take it as a compliment if you don't have an issue with it. But B, if you have an issue with it, you got to get him some kind of ring, or you got to get him to a doctor, get him to figure out how long it's going to. If you do like the guy, and if you don't, get out. That's how big a part of a relationship it is.
Or teach him to use this part of his...
Yeah, the face.
Yeah.
Get his face involved. Hi, The Edge.
Good morning.
Who's this?
Ted.
What's up, Ted?
Dean, I'm a little pissed off this morning after it took me 45 minutes to get up the hill north of Newmarket near my place. I live in the country.
Okay.
I have snow tires. Seems that a bunch of people in my neighborhood don't. What's your feeling on snow tires? Because it's I don't know what it's doing downtown. I'm sure it's just raining.
It is like there is like 3 inches of wet, soupy snow up here this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And why do people live in the country, in Canada, in the winter, and not have snow tires?
I don't really know. I don't think about snow tires often.
You don't spend your days and weeks
considering why those that need them don't have them. But people should, sir.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Hi, the Edge.
Mr. Dean?
Yeah.
It's Sugar Ray. How are you?
Sugar Ray. With 12 kids from 24 different women.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I have more. Here, what happened? I have like something, like a more what happened.
Yeah.
But I know I couldn't get through, so
What do you got? Well, I'll take it. I like you.
But here, what happened is that I'm moving to Ottawa for a year to work, man, and it's gonna suck. I can't listen to you guys out there, man.
Yeah, you can.
Listen live.
No, but I can't listen to you guys live, Like, I gotta, because I'll be working, right?
Well, I know that, but just get your BlackBerry and put it in the headphones and get the app.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah?
Yeah.
But I have the iPhone, so I can download the app from there and get it, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice. And I have a answer for the female that just called in just now, our boyfriend, 10 seconds.
Yep.
You should get him some numbing cream, man. That would help.
Pretty simple answer, isn't it? Sugar Ray.
Okay. He really does. He's got like 5 kids with like 4 different chicks.
He'll probably have 3 or 4 kids in Ottawa during that time he's going there. Yeah.
Even if he's there for a year, he might have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
From 3 or 4 different women.
Yes.
So be careful if you meet a guy named Sugar Ray in Ottawa. Hi, the Edge.
Yeah, I got a little ditty about that Oscar guy.
Yeah, Oscar Pistorius, yeah.
Yeah, okay. She came in through the bathroom window, wielding a cricket bat. When Oscar heard that awful noise, he put 4 in the door, and that was that.
Yeah. It might work. He might not have meant it. Who knows? I mean, he cried like a big baby at both of them. At both his court hearings,
Yeah.
he just bawled, like wept. So who knows? Maybe he didn't mean to. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe he actually thought it was an intruder.
Police say they have a strong case.
Do they?
Yeah.
And that he doesn't have any legs to stand on. They're leaning towards murder 1.
He was hopping mad. We know that.
Yeah. Hi, the Edge.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I've never been on before. Huge fan. Listen to you every morning.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
Bruno.
Hey, Bruno.
Hey. I got a rant. This weekend, I was up at a cottage, driving home through Aurelia. Every gas station jammed. The gas was at $1.16 in Aurelia, about an hour and a half north of Toronto.
Yeah.
Now I'm back at home, Richmond Hill, and gas is at $1.32.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you do?
What do you say to that?
Nothing, dude. You know what the problem? You know what you say to that? Buy an electric car. Really, at this point, people can complain, and I know what you're saying. It's stupid. Just go buy an electric car. I want to buy that Nissan Leaf. If it didn't come in all those gay colors, I'd buy it.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't say that, but I do. I want to buy that Nissan Leaf. It powers your home. It powers your stuff.
I didn't even know that. That's really.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing
You can
ever.
charge your phone on it?
Yeah, you charge anything on it.
Oh,
Anywhere you go.
fantastic.
Yeah. Just go plug it in. Plugs into your house. Charge it. It no gas. This is the Chevy Volt. Same thing.
Yeah.
No gas. If you're that upset about gas prices, you can do that,
Buy electric or move to Aurelia.
Yeah. Guess I'm buying electric. At the Edge. Hello.
Hey, I'm calling about Oscar
Pistorius.
Yeah. That guy, honestly, my girlfriend's South African, and I believe his story over that girl. Honestly, you can't not sleep with a gun under your pillow. You're crazy not to in that country.
To what?
Sleep with the gun under your pillow. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
It is. There's a very high crime rate in that part.
Second
of the
highest
yeah.
gun violence rate in the world.
Country in the world. Oh yeah.
But I
the
do
number
believe,
one is Colombia, and they
Okay.
shoot people for speaking out of turn there.
Sure.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah,
I'd be dead. But he did live in a gated community and stuff. Like he was in a pretty safe area.
Oh, he was in a community area. Well, it's still the same thing. They still come in. They'll pick any house, and I guess he woke up, put on his legs, and capped the door.
See, that's what makes the story funny. And everybody that complains, I've got tweets from people going, some woman died, you insensitive a-hole again. I know. But the funny part is that he didn't have any legs. He had to put his legs on and walk 7 meters over to the thing. I mean, to commit a murder, to put your legs on first.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, you really wanted to do it. And people say, "Oh, he should have put his legs out." Well, how is he going to? Even if it was a burglar, how is he going to get over and confront the burglar?
Yeah, because he'd want to be able to defend himself without the legs.
I'd kind of more buy his story than the one from the prosecution. That's the truth, and not because I think he's a hero, because I think he's a douche. Hi, The Edge.
Hey, what's up, Tino?
What's up, dude?
Hey, I was thinking with the Oscar Pistorius dude, when he was shooting her, I pictured like this giant velociraptor with giant blades on his feet. Do you think he's got longer ones when he goes on his roid rage?
I don't know, but apparently he would lose it.
I wonder what the kickback was like too with the leg, because you can't balance yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty balanced on those things.
I guess,
too.
yeah.
He ran in the Olympics. It's not like he's bad on them.
He's pretty good on them. You're right. Yeah, he's got to figure it out.
Yeah,
yeah.
He knows how to shoot anybody in those things. There's a picture on his Twitter account of him shooting a shotgun at a shooting range just a few days before that. Apparently, he was a gun nut.
Yeah, he was a big advocate to own guns.
Hey, The Edge.
Peter.
Hey.
Buddy, I got a great story about my missus wiping out yesterday tobogganing, bro.
All right, talk to me.
Oh, my gosh. So my wife, my little girl, she's 6 years old. We were out in Oshawa going down this great, big, huge hill. And first run down, all three of us beside each other on toboggans. My wife gets to the bottom. We don't see it. There's a 2.5-foot giant jump that kid's built the day before, whatever, and just cases it, bro. Boom! She flies up about 4 feet in the air, lands right on her face, just a yard tail. Sunglasses, hat, fly everywhere. She's just bawling her eyes out. And the funniest part was my little 6-year-old daughter couldn't breathe. She was laughing so hard at her, man, while I was trying to think she had a concussion. It was awesome.
It's so nice how empathetic you are, right?
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, are you okay? I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I'm trying to smack my daughter to say, shut up. I'm going to kill it. It was awesome. Oh, dude.
Do you still love your wife?
Oh, yeah, honestly, I had to pretend that I was really concerned. I was crying, laughing.
Hard to do. I pretended I was concerned for 13 years.
Yeah, totally. Okay, guys, have a great day.
Take care, man. That on Valentine's Day weekend, too. Yeah. Family Day, all of it. Yeah.
You're hurt. Hey, The Edge.
Roses are red. Violets are glorious. Never surprise Oscar Pistorius.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Jason Mewes here. You're listening to the Dean Blundell Show. 102.1 The Edge. Sticks to the news.
Taking your phone calls on the Oscar Pistorius thing. However, before we do anything else, this is... Derek, tell us... Now, someone sent this to you because what people don't know is Derek's a producer. As a producer, what happens is you have a lot of relationships with people in the broadcast industry around the world.
Absolutely. And I got this MP3 just emailed to me, and it's apparently the audio from the video from Oscar's house.
Like a surveillance video.
Surveillance video.
And they can't release the video, just the audio portion.
And the thing to note is, talking about whether it was premeditated or not, the time frame of everything in this audio clip you're about to hear. It starts to make you think that maybe it was a little premeditated.
This is just apparently the time frame between him realizing there was possibly a burglar in his home and from when he showed up at the door to fire shots into the bathroom. Whatever the motive was. But have a listen, folks. This is truly unbelievable. Do you hear that?
It cuts off there.
Well, that's because they can't play anymore.
No,
right?
no, right.
So what you're listening for here, if I'm not, This is him getting out of bed, strapping on his prosthetic legs, and then making his way to the crapper.
I see.
Is that correct?
Exactly.
That's what I think I'm hearing
Yeah.
here. Gets up, cranks on his legs.
That's the left one.
The righty gets up now.
If I was in the bathroom and
you
I'd
might
be like,
hear that.
hi,
Hey,
I
it's
hear
me.
you coming.
Well, maybe that's why you'd hide, right? If you were a burglar.
Or you'd identify yourself.
Yeah.
In the bathroom. I need to put on my legs.
Sounds like a 7-meter walk.
Yeah, he's groggy, I think, there too.
Yeah, it wasn't balanced like
No.
yeah. There's no real rhythm to the walk.
No,
Yeah.
native enjoyed himself. The right one.
It's tragic. It's tragedy. Oh. We'll take your phone calls next. 416-870-EDGE. 870-3343. Open phones coming up. Oh, maybe that's gratuitous. Yeah, what the hell. Five, 6, 7. We'll be right back.
Bored, lonely, hard up. Use your free hand and follow the boys on Twitter.
At D. Blundell Show.
The Dean Blundell Show, 102.1.
The Edge.
Sometimes this job affords us the opportunity of talking to people we respect, make us laugh, and have in many different forms over the years. This, of course, one of them. Mr. Bob Saget's on the phone. Hello, sir.
Okay. Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. It's early here in Los Angeles. I was just doing my a worming business out in the yard, so it's.
I find a lot of people like yourselves that are that have done well, have a nice career, get into like organic farming or worming.
Exactly, a lot of that, and I was going to do newspaper door to door, but it didn't really get me into the earth at that time of morning as much as worming. and I like the bloodworm because then you really know what you're going for.
Yeah, I was going to say what kind of worm, and there you go, bloodworm.
Yeah, and they keep the pieces of people are eating breakfast. I don't want to say anything wrong.
Please do.
Well, the worm, once you separate it, it can keep part will keep living.
Yeah.
Which is I just went through that with a relationship. And,
are you?
She's out there.
Segmented.
Thanks for joining us. You're at the Queen Elizabeth, I think. The Queenie Theater, March 3rd, 7 p.m. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster. What people didn't. I was surprised, and just to start off, if anybody watched you on Full House or America's Funniest Home Videos, not just surprised that you were as funny as you were, but that at times you were as uncensored as you are. Do you still find that surprises a lot of people when they come and see, oh, there's the Full House guy. Oh, my God, he just talked about vaginas.
I think so. I don't actually talk about the V's as much as I do the P's for some reason. I don't know why. Or the D's. I guess I do D jokes more than anything else. For no reason than just to... I'm not like waving a D as freedom of speech or anything. You know?
But people are still surprised.
I think so, but not as much as they were, because it always says for mature audiences, but my stand-up when I do it is just for immature audiences, really. It's like a 9-year-old that just learned a large vocabulary and there he is on stage as a man in his 50s.
It's very excitable, huh?
Exactly. It makes me part ashamed and part, boy, you look young, Bob. But I also have the kind of comedy that I do, which is some stories, some fast-paced stuff. I actually have a lot of new music. I just did a new special that'll be on in a few months, and it's it's funny comedy songs, and they're love songs, and it always ends poorly, and something terrible happens to someone else physically to them by someone. But I just I love political comedy, but I'm not. I love that I don't do it too, because I think everything's safer in the world, and you can laugh without thinking or worrying or being sad if I'm just around my belt buckle.
Yeah, it's easier to make fun of things below your waist than it is, really serious political turmoil in different countries. I can understand that. But when you finish, so you finish doing Full House, you do America's Funny, and then you get into doing your comedy again. Did you always do comedy like that? Or was it something you're like, listen, I got to go as far away from my Full House character and all the wholesome stuff as I can, just because was it a creative thing?
Well, it was always weird. My stand-up was always very, I'd say, brazen before it started. When I did the Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedian special, the very first one he ever did, and my jokes were, I have the brain of a German Shepherd and the body of a 16-year-old boy, and they're in my car, and I want you to see them. I mean, it wasn't even a joke. It was just like, it was horrible stuff. Thank you for laughing, but the protagonist in that story, there's something wrong with him.
No, but I thought it was funny.
Thanks.
Because you're in your car.
And I did too, and for better or for worse. And I always wrote stuff like that. But then as I did those shows, I remember doing an HBO special right when Full House and the video show. It was pretty foul. I mean, I did things that I thought were funny, and I was pretty uncensored, and I was always like that. It was always sick jokes more than dirt. It was always some, that was, a lot of groaners when you would explain some, what are Bob's jokes? Like, whoa, like someone needed to be an ice pack administered or something. But then the more stuff that I've done is even the newest special I just did, which a lot of it ends up in like at the Queen Elizabeth, you'll hear a lot of the new stuff because I've just written all these new songs and stuff. It doesn't seem as blue. I mean, to me, South Park and Family Guy are dirtier than my stand-up. I'm not as gross. I guess the world has caught up with me. Or I just keep changing, too. I do know that.
When you, Bob Saget, our guest, Queen Elizabeth Theater, Sunday, March 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster. Very funny, dude. One of the funniest things, and it was when you were roasted, and Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, I love him.
That was, and it took us, as I'm sure it did everybody in the crowd, a good 5 minutes to get what he was doing.
Right.
Did you know, because no one was laughing harder than you, but did you know right away he was doing your America's Funniest Home Video as a roast, kind of turning it around?
What happened was Norm, I talked to Norm a couple weeks before, and Norm's one of the first comedians. He tells me I am the first comedian he ever saw. And I actually remember when Norm was in the audience in Ottawa when I was performing years ago, and there was this kid with a big afro, and he says he was 17, and I was like 23. But still, the math doesn't seem right with our ages, but that's Norm, so I believe him. But I talked to him on the phone. I said, "It's really nice of you to do this roast," and I said, "You're gonna make fun of me, right?" He goes, "I don't know about that. I can't make fun of my friends." And I said, "Well, it's a roast, Norm. You probably got to make fun of me." He's like, "Maybe I'll just tell old jokes." I went, "Well, like really old jokes, like before, like when jokes were really old." And I said, I don't just curse arbitrarily if you get bored. Just do a word here or there. Just blurt out bad words." And then he said, "I don't know." And he was contemplating what he was going to do the whole time. And then at one point he said, and you won't have to bleep me or anything. He said, "You got a face like a flower, a cauliflower." And then there's no response. And then he goes, "I say you got a effing dog face, okay?" And that kind of turned the tide for him. It was a defining moment, and he was starting to laugh because he was angry that no one understood his Elizabethan style of word conjuring. But then he read the sports section, too, during the panel part, where he would just sit there on that roast. But he is he's an incredibly funny person, you know.
Yeah, he is, and you know, sometimes, and you know this better than most, being the comedian and having the history that you have. But you know, when you're doing stuff that no one else is doing, whether it's blue or not, it takes someone who's of that like mind to truly get it. And it took, honestly, I know you started to get it right away, but it took me 3 to 4 minutes, and I was uncomfortable for him because no one else thought it was funny. But then there you were. Did you get it the whole time, or was it like a sympathy laugh?
I do, because he had told me he was going to do old jokes, so I just started going, oh no, because old jokes are not known to have the best punchline. You know, they don't have setups like one of us is going to be the husband and one of us is going to be the wife. You know, that's not that kind of joke. So I knew he was going to be doing it, but they're hard enough as it is. But I just watch his face and I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. You're right. His face is funny, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, because I find out he's a good-looking guy that women like him. I talk to.
Oh yeah.
Bob,
I didn't know. You know, the girls that I visited in the ward all say he's nice.
Queen Elizabeth Theater, March 3rd, 7:30 p.m. I saw, just real quick, I saw John Stamos the other day. He just gets better looking as he gets older. Does it piss you off?
Not really, because it's very painful for him to look like that. I was in the kitchen with him, and he dunks his head into caramel like an apple, and that's how he keeps looking that young.
Ouch!
So his whole face is just sealed in hot sugar and caramel, and that's if you want to burn yourself that badly to look that good. But a hairline I can't explain. I think some young person sat on his head years ago, and it transferred the hair, and it must have just leached over because it starts down around his nose.
I can't wait for the John Stamos beauty tips. Yeah.
Yeah, it's caramel apple. You heat it up to about 350 for the actual face dipping, and then actually probably want to hose that off before you have the young person with the little leechy hair that would jump off and transfer itself to make it like a little, kind of like a little, I don't know, a merkin or something. That hooks right into his lower. Like one of the bad guys in Superman had that. I think Terrence Mann, I think his name was, had a haircut like that. John's hair starts down around his neck.
Yeah.
It goes right up the front. He has to shave his face because his hairline's so strong.
Just so you could see.
Yeah, just to get through the day. I mean, if you shave on Star Wars, if you actually shave a Wookiee, shave all the hair off a Wookiee, you might find that attractive.
John Stamos.
That's what it's like. John, I think, is like a shaved Wookiee. I think they're actually good-looking creatures.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, Bob Saget. Again, Queen Elizabeth Theater. Thank you so much for your time, dude. You're a lot of fun, and I look forward to actually physically coming to see you at the show. I know a lot of people will, but get your tickets, Ticketmaster, March 3rd. QE. Thanks for your time, brother. Go get some sleep.
Say hi afterward, because this is big-time radio, and my publicist can make sure you can come backstage and all that stuff. And we're going to secure Stamos to some kind of wall with duct tape, and we're going to shave him down. We want to get to the bottom of that.
Good luck. Yeah. You'd be afraid if you shave him that he would only be about 2 feet high and half a foot wide.
That, to me, is a dream. I would actually... I'd marry that. Whatever's left of him, I'm totally straight and stuff. But I've worked with him. He's my good friend. But man, that'd nothing be hotter than that.
Thanks, Bob, for your time, man.
All right, I'll see you at the Queen Elizabeth.
You betcha. March 3rd, 7:30. I'll see you soon.
The Dean Blundell Show, 102.1 The Edge.